My name is Diaz, and today I'm going to show you a tool I created called SuperSearch. So SuperSearch was born out of necessity when I accidentally picked up a script and dropped it into a scene that I had created, and it was a pretty large scene, and I just couldn't find the script anywhere, and I didn't know this at the time, but when you're searching for a script in the hierarchy, you actually have to enter in the whole name of the script, so test script, and then it'll show up. But even once I found this out, this doesn't help me in my situation because there's a lot of objects with that particular script on it. But I knew that it was like in a certain range, so I decided to create a tool called SuperSearch. And basically what this is you go to Windows SuperSearch, you can dock it anywhere, and it's basically a super search. It works off of a stack-based filtering approach, and you can add filters and then they're processed from top to bottom. So let's say we want to search for an object that has a specific component, and then with that list of objects with that component, you only want the objects with a specific name, and then with that list of components that have a specific name, you can search for a material. And you can see how you can really refine your searches and get to that one object that you're looking for more quickly. So let's see it in action. So let's say we have our component, it's called test script, and you just start typing test, and then it'll show up in your scene. And the great thing about SuperSearch is it updates as you're typing, so you can see your list changing as you type, and you'll know if you misspelled a name or something. If everything disappears, you just go back and retype it. But let's say we have all these spheres, they're all the same, but we know that two of them have two different materials on them. So let's search for white mat, and then you can change this to a material, select, and then there's your object with the white mat material. We can also look at this parallax matte shader, and we'll see that it has a parallax diffuse shader. So we can change this to a shader, and we can search for, just type P, and that's all it took. So hit select, and you can select the object in the scene with the parallax diffuse shader. So this also works with the Unity standard components that you get up here in the components menu. So I already know that I have a component. I have a nav mesh agent in the scene, and I have a box collider. And let's see, just for the sake of demonstration, we want to add maybe a let's do a capsule collider, and we want to replace that. So we can go back to component. Now if you start typing collider, it'll show everything, but let's say we want to search for that box collider, and hit select, and there's your object. It has a box collider. Let's say we want to search for a nav mesh agent. Hit select, and there's your object with the nav mesh agent. Let's say we want to search for that capsule collider we just made. Select, and there's your object with the capsule collider. And now you can also, to show you an example of the stacking nature of it, if you noticed, I was typing in a box, and it shows the camera because the camera has a skybox on it. That's why that box collider was showing up. And we can add another filter, and we want only a box collider that has a name that has SPH in it. And with that, we have our sphere with the box collider. You can also just type in C and then change this into a component, and then type in P, and you'll get your sphere with the capsule collider. So as you can see, this is really useful, and I'll show you kind of more real world scenario in the Unity default AngryBots project. So let's get that open. Alright, so we got this project open. We want to go to the AngryBots scene. Wait for it. And we want to close this, and we want to reopen SuperSearch. Let's get it over here. Okay, so let's zoom out, and let's say we have one of these scripts in here called enemy area. So let's take the enemy area, and we're looking at it, and we're like, oops, we dragged it onto the scene. Have no idea which one of these objects we dropped it on, but we know it was in this general area. So let's go ahead and super search and start searching for a component with the name enemy area. And as you can see, this is really slow updating, and we still have a pretty large list of game objects. So what we can do is we can select this guy. Well, that one actually had the thing on it. Let's just select this guy, and we can get the position of 32, -1, -88. So change this to a position. We can change this to 32 and let's just say -2 because it's -1.95, -2 and -88. We want to search in a radius of maybe 10. And then now that we have a smaller list, the search should update faster. So we can change this to our enemy area. And then as you can see, if we collapse this, we're still getting more than one game object. So what we can do is start to reduce our radius down to 5 maybe, and 7, and there you go. You have that game object that you accidentally dropped this script on, and it has the enemy area component. And with a scene this large, it would probably be helpful to find your shaders too. Let's say you create a shader, you look in your profiler, and you see that maybe the rain shader is slowing down the performance of your game. So you want to go in and select all the game objects that have that particular shader, and you want to change that to something else that you've created. So all you gotta do is go and change this to a shader, change the name of it to rain, and you get all the game objects that have rain on it. So hopefully this demonstration showed you how Super Search can help you find your lost prefabs and assets and instances in your Unity projects, and hope you downloaded it and it helps you out as much as it's helped me. Thanks.